Maravilloso. Maravilloso. Sentirme así. Que sí, que sí. Ay, dejo esto ahí. Y listo. En principio, en este instante, en este momento, en este lugar. Ay. Durup, 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 durup. Off.
Still no mail. Go figure.
¿Para qué me pones un buzón si la Tierra está destruida? No lo entiendo. Pero bueno. Sigamos para bingo. Vamos a probar esto.
To prepare for the wilds, Ceylonia's brushers practice at Camp Dunse. Had to navigate a maze of pincushions with nothing but a pike. It's a dangerous test for a dangerous job. Health tonics were off limits at Camp Dunse. They said they made you weak.
Maravilloso.
The rules said he couldn't use any fancy footwork, just your brains and your pike.
¿Este es el último? Joder, tío.
Just getting through the course in one piece was an accomplishment.
No necesito. Au. Menos de 90 segundos. Ya. Si el primer premio será menos de un minuto. ¿Cómo me puedo largar? ¿Por aquí? Pues ahora.
You can see why the brushers prize those pikes of theirs. Few places steeped in history and sweat so much as this. Point Lemaine. If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here. But now, the greatest outpost past the city line is nothing but a freak show. The Army's triggers once had the place on lockdown. Kid might as well pick up where they left off. Blam!
Coño.
Just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check.
No hace tanto daño como pensaba.
Point Lemaine seen better days for sure, but it ain't done.
No lo entiendo. Se acerca
The whole
hacia...
place shudders in a fit. The Grand Rail of Point Lemaine. Not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. Grand Rail's all grown over with things of calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turn.
Joder, tío.
Kid lets a few of them slip by. Lunkheads settled in like they own the place.
Sé que son escopetas.
Takes fancy footwork on the rail, what with wallflowers, common fungus everywhere. Not much wiggle room up there near the rail.
O sea que es una escopeta.
The place used to be closed off, but now it's split open like a rotten pineapple.
Joroba.
Of course, the Grand Rail's seen much more fighting in bygone times. Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Celandian War. It was right here that Zolf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up.
No me da tiempo. Vale.
Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. That was bad. The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for him, though. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned it into swamp weed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While shooting a genuine registered army carbine? While choking on swamp weed? Peckers trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun. But then, at last, it's the end of the line. He'll be picking swamp weed out of those boots for days. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him. Not just another wallflower or pincushion like it. At first, he thinks it's Zolf.
¿Otro tío?
This is for you, says the man. Then wham! When the kid comes to, the man's long gone, but something else is there. The only words Kid recognizes on that parchment are for Zia. Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note.
Tiene todo, ¿eh? Se está oscureciendo y a mí no se me ve. Ay, ya empezamos.
That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it?
Puchero de cerámica. ¿Y esto?
Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get.
He encontrado yo esto.
The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity, and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zolf. Never could ask for a song. Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking. He wolfs down too much too fast, and it all goes to his head.
Ah, bien. Otra de oleadas. Justo lo que quería.
I've said a lot about the kid, but he ain't the only one wrapped up in all this. What's he thinking? Well, let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once. Once there was a normal Ura girl, but she wasn't born in the Tazzle terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Ceylania. Her folks were orphaned in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals. Ura refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out. The mama passed away from birth and complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father.
Muere.
Her father was sharper than a brusher's pike, so he got a job working for the city's manses. His daughter barely saw him.
Esto es
Her father told her nothing of her Ura heritage. He told her nothing of the mansers. It's for your own good, he said.
Vamos, que era un tío muy aburrido.
She took to studying the arts, learned more through music than history books, gained a knack for strings and songs.
Eso está muy bien, está muy bien. ¡Oh! Vale, bicho. Bichos. Pero igual. Estos pájaros. ¿No que te digo?
Well, you know how it goes.
Muchas ganas de terminar esto. Muchísimas.
At first, she tried to be like other girls, but her classmates spread word that her father was an Ura trader, selling out the city. One young man stood up for her, or so he led her to believe. He knew much of her heritage, and she grew fond of him.
Hombre, mi amigo. No le doy, ahora no le doy. Tengo a tu hijo, ¿lo sabes? Y me cae bien.
Man convinced her to take him to her family den to meet her father. Spoke of how he wanted to meet a man from the terminals. When the young man greeted her father in the Ura's native language, her father flew into a fit of rage and threw them out.
Y qué hombre más borde.
The young man never told her that the Ura's native language is not to be used by foreigners. To do so is a terrible insult. It was then that she decided to escape. The two of them could flee the city together.
No, estaba enamorada. Esto es mío. Oh no, Dios mío. Las pelotas estas.
They would hide inside a garbage bin until it got ingested by a scumbag. Then let him slosh on out of the city for disposal.
Eso no acaba bien, ¿a qué no? Uy, ahora tengo dos. Mira qué mal. Ay. Solo está asustado. Ahí. He dicho que solo están asustados. Joder. Pues si están asustados, están muy asustados.
What's the use?
¿Por qué no me cago? La madre que te parió. Atácame.
Her plan almost succeeded, but the authorities were already there when that scumbag sidled up to the city walls.
Me he colado de botón.
The young man had sent the authorities a tip. Told him her father was using her to sell secrets to the Tazzle terminals.
Cabrón. Me he vuelto a equivocar de botón.
She and her father were arrested for treason, but her father got a deal. Returned to work for the Mansers, and she'd go free. Before they parted ways for the last time, her father whispered a desperate plea. Hurry home to the den and lock yourself in.
Tenía que ser. Todos los bichos juntos, no. Los que más odio. Lo voy a oír. Vale.
She did as she was told, and deep down underground inside that den, she found a journal written in her father's hand.
No, no, otra vez.
Paz, paz. The next day, the door to the den turned to ash. The girl came up for air, and she saw the calamity all around her.
Curioso, ¿eh? Bueno, ¿cómo me voy? Gracias. Ay. Ay. Tic. Tic.
When the kid wakes up, his world's still in pieces, just the way you left it. It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection. Sometimes a brusher's pike just ain't enough. That's what the carbine's for. Zolf's messenger was one of his people. Wondered just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zolf told them.
Hoy les contó que... Eres idiota. Las balas tienen efecto de retirada.
That's the way to make every shot count. Even the army never issued carbines in such fine shape.
Subido de nivel. No puedo. Pinta que no.
The shards are getting harder to find.
Y además de verdad. Uy, aquí tengo cosas. Tengo uno. Lo de la lanza, lo del escudo. Voy a probar otro de lo del escudo. A ver qué tal va. Podría probarlo fuera de cámara. Pero es que me quedo sin ganas de jugar a este juego cuando termino de jugar.
court is back in session for the kid. Old ritual for when folks believed there was this godlike bull watching over them. Had to make do with nothing but a shield.
Cañones bien. Poco menos. Cojones. Eo. Gio. Chito. Muy bien. No entiendo, se me gira. Ven aquí. A ver si consigo tirarlo. Ven. Y... Aquí. Ah, pues no. ¿Solo puedo hacerlo así? ¿Qué me da a veces cuando... Si hago un contraataque, ¿por qué me das? Otra vez. Si estoy haciendo contraataques, ¿por qué me da?
The kid pulls through in fine form.
Segundo premio. El primero, 3. Una vez más. Bueno, yo creo que puedo hacerlo con 3, pero... Es que hay muchos golpes que me los dan porque sí. Y eso me enfada. Un intento más y si no, fuera. Hay veces que le doy despacio y contraataque, hay veces que le doy lento, rápido y no hay contraataque. Ya está, mira. Adiós. Es, por ejemplo, me gustaría saber el dinero que tengo. ¿De qué me va a servir si sé que no voy a poder hacerlo? Uy, qué
Not
bonito.
everything blew up in the calamity.
Todo destruido, me he hecho daño.
Why, Colford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. If you wanted to survive something like that, you had to learn to adapt.
Tiro el plato. ¿Construimos? ¿No? Muere. Uy, qué mal.
So, in a way, the beasts of the wilds, they're all survivors too. It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Colford Cauldron.
No, otro arma no.
That learning led to some interesting inventions.
Es un puto lanzallamas.
The raw power of the world fell right into our hands.
Bueno, vale, es un lanzallamas.
Playing with the cauldron's fires became an addiction. You can't fault our people for their natural curiosity now, can you?
Adiós.
It's awful
Me he
hot
curado.
there.
Me he curado. No termina de gustarme el lanzallamas tampoco. No sé, todas las armas no me gustan.
Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here.
Pollo frío.
But we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. The unforgiving scent of sulfurous dirt. The taste of air so hot it sticks to your lungs.
Luchar contra estos puedo leerte si estás. Estoy combatiendo, leches. quemar cosas es divertido.
All sorts of awful things falling underfoot. You can cook those things, but you can't eat them.
Oh,
Never thought we'd find so much life in all that ash.
¿tengo un pajarito?
We kept on sifting through the cauldron's secrets anyway.
Pues por ahora voy a dejarlo porque parece pinta que lo necesito.
The more ash we swept aside, the more life we found.
Tum, tum.
Place as inhospitable as they come. But still we pressed on. After all, when we looked down inside Culford Cauldron,
Así que queréis mirar dentro de un puto. Interesante.
looked down through all the smoke and flames.
Oh, eso me gusta. Que aunque esté cerradito.
We saw in there the heart of the world, the heart now laid bare by the calamity. We had to have it. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Bog.
Interesante.
Kid's thinking he's got to trek all the way back around the cauldron. Luckily, the cauldron cooked up a little shortcut for him.
Gracias.
Sure, it ain't the most convenient path.
Qué pesadito.
Biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side.
Bueno. O sea que esto ya lo había hecho.
Where there's one stink eye, there's always more. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. Kid don't shed any tears for him, though. With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron from the city. But all the fires died out. There's nothing left of it.
En principio me debería de quedar solo 2, ¿no?
He comes back looking like the inside of a chimney.
Cosa que técnicamente he hecho.
They said the wild could never be tamed. If only they could see us now. We're all a little short on friends these days, so that's a welcome sight.
Oh, tengo pajarito. Domador. 4. 1, 2, 3. Mole. No seré yo el que diga que no.
The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again.
Sí, en principio. Ah.
We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances.
De la carabina, me gusta.
The culture, a still life of old unwanted keepsakes. I've asked a lot of the kid, but this is something he's done on his own. Gotta make sure the pointy end's fastened on real tight.
Continuamos para ahí. Faltan 2.
We spotted a pecker carrying a shard to Mount Zan.
Mi instinto me dice... Me gusta. Uy. Venga, vamos a probarlo. ¿Qué es lo peor que podría pasar? Madre mía, ya se ha hecho de noche.
Ceylonia's army only took the best, and the best of them trained on Trigger Hill. The Triggers believed they were nothing without their rifles. Nothing beats the feel of shooting a Ceylonian army carbine. Sometimes you had to take care to steady your shot. The Triggers had clearance to modify their guns however they chose. Some felt the course was too easy, so the triggers spiced things up a bit. The kid ain't bad, but the triggers were better.
35 segundos. Yo creo que lo puedo hacer. Hola, Jai.
If you want to master the
Bla,
art
bla,
of
bla, bla,
firearms,
bla, bla,
then
bla,
the
bla.
place to go is Trigger Hill. Sometimes you had to shoot from the hip. I had to keep moving to avoid getting burned.
Igual mi vida.
Kid blows through that
Toma.
course like it was nothing.
Sabía que con este podía. ¿Y qué es ojo mortal? Uy. Ay.
The Ceylondian army would have recruited him in a flash.
Oh, me quedo. Ahora tengo un pajarito. Mira qué majo. Bueno, tendría que subirlo y voy a pasar. Ay.
Can't rightly call Mount Zand a mountain anymore.
Es un bosque.
There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go.
Hijo de...
The beasts of Mount Zand go all out.
Eso no se hace. Así no, hombre.
So they figure
No
they'll
veo
hold
dónde
out
está.
right here on a slab of
A la gente.
calamity forgot.
¿Será que estaba muerto? He perdido.
Good thing for those beasts the calamity saved leftovers. We only found their little lair because they found themselves a little shard.
Es que tú ponte tú a buscar algo por aquí. Hijo de... Oh, menos mal.
Those beasts been hoarding all the valuables they could find.
No, ya no es que metan, es que... Boom.
The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own.
Hey.
Their children into this.
Se supone que estaban extintos.
Without a doubt, the situation stinks.
Adiós. Boom. Boom.
Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean. Besides,
Otra
we
arma.
have to take back what's ours. Even if the beasts of the wilds won't like it.
No está mal. No me gusta, pero no está mal.
It's a delicate situation.
Pero si ahí hay una madera.
Look at it this way. It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our Bastion is everybody's game, not just ours.
Ah, un gramófono.
What the city left behind,
Joder.
those beasts took for themselves.
Hala. ¿Qué es esto? No sé.
Takes a lot of convincing, and our mortars have to do the talking. Unfortunately, there's no explaining that to a simple beast.
Ah, no sabía.
Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place. They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have. They've rounded up their survivors, just like we have.
Bueno, subido de nivel. Au. Joder.
Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have.
Hala.
We just really
Otra para-
need their
otra
shard.
para-
Kid got it fair and square.
No me jodas la madre que te parió.
That's the way. He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Ay.
We'll all be better off once the Bastion is complete. Fixed that thing right up, didn't we? Made these goings-on a little livelier.
Ahora tengo un gramófono. Tengo un gramófono.
Suppose it's true a little song can put things in perspective.
Ah, pues vale.
The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though. The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over. The Triggers, my brothers, bravest men I ever knew. The conscience, we haven't lost everything, long as we have that.
¿Y por qué haría eso?
When you've got a solid balance, you've got what you need. It's no longer a weapon, it's a precision instrument.
Terminarlo. Supuestamente ahora tengo que ir recogiendo los pedacitos. Ahora me toma. O sea, estos morados. Bueno, creo que me queda conseguir uno más.
Just a couple shards left. The quarry's gotta have one, right?
Un par de fragmentos. ¿Y esto? ¿Qué pasa? Se supone que es para reconstruir el mundo, pero no lo tengo muy claro. Como me habla en mitad del combate, pues no lo puedo leer.
Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Zealandia. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes Burstone
Soy
quarry.
idiota, se me olvida cambiar el arma.
The Ura tunnels beneath the quarry must have softened the blow from the calamity. Same goes for its natives, rattletails.
Voy a cambiarme el arma porque así no puedo. No puedo jugar con dos armas a distancia. Oh, qué calor tengo. Aquí. Por ahora lo que sé de la historia es que este tío sobrevivió a un gran desastre que ha
Just
destruido
takes
todo
three
el mundo.
things to build the greatest
Que el
city
único
in the
sitio donde
world.
para sobrevivir es el Bastión.
It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes
Y que nuestra
Birdstone
misión es
quarry.
recuperarlo.
The Ura
Y que hay uno
tunnel
que se ha
beneath
enfadado
the
mucho.
quarry must have softened the blow from the calamity. Same goes for its natives, rattletails.
¿No? Es amigo.
The quarry ain't exactly up to safety standards no more. Rattletails ain't the worst of it either, but more about that in a little bit.
¿No éramos amigos? Éramos
The
amigos.
quarry came with a lifetime supply of windbags. Windbags smaller than the naked eye can see are nesting in those rocks. Not only are these rocks a source of life, we found that the oldest ones remember things.
Solo dinero. Pues vamos. Sé que había como dos tribus, dos razas,
They're recording everything,
como quieras
all
llamarlo,
the time, taking it all in.
que no se llevaban muy bien, vamos.
The quarry's secrets ain't exactly obvious.
Que este ha perdido básicamente toda su puñetera familia. Hola.
No wonder all those beasts were drawn to the quarry. The rocks were calling them. Keeping the quarry free from pests turned out to be a problem.
Boom.
Rattletails kept tunneling in, snacking on windbags.
Dios, estoy muy perdido. ¿Cómo se...?
Now, why would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? The Ura always were a superstitious lot.
Me está diciendo algo de los Ura y no me entero.
Told them the quarry's bad.
Ya no sé lo que he visto ni lo que no he
On
visto.
top of that, you know that
Estoy otra vez
ain't
perdido.
anything underground. Might be the quarry just got too much sunshine. Feel like it.
Esto, hola. ¿Y yo cómo vuelvo ahora?
In any case, it's fair to say the quarry was God's sent.
No sé dónde estoy, tío.
Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen. The largest ones, you know as cores. A single core could keep the lights on in an entire city district.
No sé si estoy yendo por el camino extra, por el camino bueno.
smaller ones. We call them shards.
Es que te digo, a tomar por saco. A toda pastilla.
A shard's
Algún
got a fraction
lado
of
llegaré.
Core's power, enough to fuel a voyage to the motherland. Hard times in the quarry these days.
Vale.
Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. Massive thing stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. The only thing harder than the rocks brushed on the quarry is Sir Lunky's head. We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone.
Lo he tirado.
Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. Are you all right? It says.
En todo lo que cabe, sí.
It's him.
¡Hombre!
I've come to warn you, he says.
El capullo.
The Bastion is under siege. Let it fall. You should not go back.
¿Por qué?
Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred.
Te quiero matar.
If that's the way it is, he says, then I won't stop you.
¿Te quiero matar? He dado todas estas vueltas por su culpa. Lo quiero matar.
Because my countrymen will.
Pues vale. O sea, arma todo este jaleo, me manda un ejército, pero él no hace nada. Él no me detiene. Más vale que lo pueda matar. Más vale que lo pueda matar.
Say what you will about Zolf, but he's a man of his word.
Esto es el Bastion. Está un poco...
His countrymen
Uy.
don't much care for pleasantries, though.
He matado a una persona.
Zolf showed
Debería
the way
ser
here, and here they came to take revenge. They
Vengarse
got
de
inside
qué.
the Bastion and shut the door. Kid's gotta go in through the back.
Mira qué bonito todo.
I should have told him sooner about all this. To make matters worse, seems that Ura took the girl. Unfortunately, they broke in, and they started digging their hole. Something wrong sprung out.
Mira mis amiguitos.
Invade this place. We tried to stop him, but we needed him.
No peguéis a mis amiguitos. Tener mascota sirve de algo. Ya lo sabía yo. Es como hay que ser bueno con los animales. ¿Pajarito? ¡Pajarito! Ya. Está todo roto. Con lo que me ha costado construirlo.
Somehow, some way, he sent those Ura packing. Problem is, it didn't matter. Zolf's plan worked.
Tanto para nada. Otra vez. Construyo mis edificios, no sé qué, no sé cuántas.
We find each other as the dust settles. Then I tell him why the Ura came. To get us back. For the calamity.
Ah, pues sí.
It was Ceylandia's master plan to wipe the Ura out. But part of that plan backfired, didn't it? If only Zulf knew the whole story. What were we to think? They must have got her, taken her back to her rightful home.
Bueno, menos mal.
Put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started.
Hombre, ahora está un poco todo mucho más roto, digo yo, pero... Sí.
Seems the gods recommended this place to all their friends. The city, its riches nothing but fragments now. The sanctuary, if we can build, we can rebuild. The mercy, the windbags ain't the only beast that drew a bad lot. Now all we need is one last shard.
Me hace gracia que pueda comprar dioses en la tienda.
Any brusher's pike can cut to the bone, but that one can cut through it. Nothing makes a gun so dangerous as a keen eye. The Ura swooped down from the east. At least now we know the way.
No sé dónde es. ¿Aquí? O sea, que básicamente el gran desastre fue culpa nuestra. Bien. Maravilloso. La guerra. Es que...
One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is.
Culpa al viejo.
A mess like that could have only been made by hand. Zolf said the calamity failed, and he's right. The Ura stand as living proof of that.
Ay, qué susto me ha dado. ¿Eh? ¿Qué ha pasado?
At the heart of the calamity was a simple idea. We never wanted to go to war again. Wanted to rule it out.
Ow.
We put a lot of folks against that problem. Scientists, soldiers, spies, even me.
Hasta yo.
We sought solutions far beyond the city. We traveled near as far as the kids go right now.
Pues para estar tan destruido el mundo, llevo 3 días andando por el mismo. Ha dicho trafica. ¿Será por aquí?
our efforts
Ow.
didn't bear fruit.
O mala gente.
Then there was a breakthrough, but it didn't come from one of our people.
Y ahora me voy en barco.
A brilliant young scientist named Ven.
Oh, hola, Ven.
Ven worked for the Mancers, the sharpest knives in the city's drawer. With his help, the Mancers devised a way to seal the Ura tunnel shut in a flash. Just like that, every last Ura living in the Tassel terminals will be gone.
Se me estás diciendo que uno de la facción que queréis cargaros...
This
¡No!
discovery was never to be used, they said, except as a last resort.
Vale.
But Ven didn't like being manipulated. He had plans of his own.
Seguimos. Día 6.
Sabotage the Mancer's little science project, set it to blow up in their faces.
Y yo me pregunto, ¿este tío qué come?
Imagine how Ven must have felt when they finally made him pull that trigger.
Adiós. Hasta luego. Dios, me pone muy nervioso.
But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard.
Uy, va. Señor, hombre. Maleducado. Uy, sí. Para nada pinta jefe. Dios.
Too bad the Ura ain't exactly been willing to collaborate on that front.
Hombre, en su defensa diré que los habéis intentado matar.
For now, Kid has little choice but to pick up where the Calamity left off. First things first, though. There's someone we figured needed rescuing. See ya.
Perdona que te diga, pero lo primero ha sido por ir a por la gema de con los dientes. No digas que lo primero era rescatar a la chica, porque ha sido con los dientes.
The Ura fell back, no doubt planning the next move, but we knew ours already. taught him a little something from my days on the front.
Bueno, y una vez mejorado todo, pues ya está, ¿no?
The country, she's all to pieces now, but still looking good.
Vale.
Sometimes I want to ask him, why do any of this?
Digo sin
The
entender.
truth is, I don't want to know.
¿Qué pasa,
Keep
viejo?
your chin up, kid, I tell him. There's something we had to do before going after that last shard.
Pues no. Oh, mi cuellecito. Que Rook ha construido un arma secreta.
Well, now it's personal, ain't it?
¿Y no me la podría haber dado en la mano?
Personal for him, and it's personal for me. He gets straight down to business. They never saw him coming. He gets his hands on the care package I sent him.
Me has quitado el arma. Bueno, es un bazooka.
It's a little something I've been fixing up in my spare time.
Vale. ¿Y ahora qué? Tranquilo, tranquilo, tranquilo.
Zara found a way to keep the calamity from spreading through Sultan's Hollow. Kid has to put a damper on their plans.
Vale.
They got their own security and everything. Pretty fancy. Still, they ain't used to having visitors around.
O sea, todas las armas, ¿vale? Con todas las armas puedo apuntar donde quiera, menos con esta.
They've got these conductors that are all what's keeping the place together. Breaking up
Bueno,
those things.
en su defensa diré que es rápido.
Back into the ground. Those rocks are like tumors, the same kind the Earth planted in Bastion. Well, the Ura must be in a panic right about now.
Hola.
Kid's done using the Calamity's power for now, but the Ura ain't finished. They even sick their little rattletail pets on the kid.
Maldito pollo de las narices, ven aquí.
Those rodents are just a bump in the road. kid's picking the whole place apart, piece by piece.
Oops.
By now, every Ura from here to the terminals must know he's in town.
Adiós.
Most of the Ura's conductors are squared away in the middle of the hollow. Those calamity rocks must be eating that place apart from the inside.
Joder. Hola. Muere. Gracias.
The Ura keep hanging on to that barricade. After all, their homeland's not much farther.
Mío. Dinero.
The Ura ain't pulling their
Ay. No sé por dónde es. Me vuelvo. Haha.
Some of them are downright bewildered by what's happening.
Au. Muere.
Maybe they know they've lost this. Lost their kid. They underestimated us. As they go wrong.
Perfecto.
Yes, our people caused the calamity, but here we are trying to fix it.
Eso no vale.
Shame the opportunity for civilized discourse is over.
Por vuestra culpa, no es por nada.
Suppose old Zolf should have got to know us better. Maybe I should have trusted
Me
him.
encanta que me intenten atacar y acabe con ellos en la cara. Mira, muere. Adiós. Ven aquí. Maldito pollo.
Zolf, the Ura,
No.
they have every reason to be angry. Beyond angry. As the hour grows desperate, the Ura bring out their big guns.
Ups. Mal momento. Mal momento. Para apagarte. Maldito mando. Dios, que hay dos.
There's nothing standing in his way no more.
Yo ya no sé dónde
He
estoy
sees the
yendo. Si
Tassel
voy bien.
terminal loom large on the horizon.
Un dibujo infantil. A ver. Qué bonito, pero qué preciosidad. Ahora es mío. A ver, pinta que es por ahí arriba. Pero por aquí abajo había cosas.
But when this is all over, it'll all be water under the bridge.
Tampoco me hacen tanto daño. Acabo de dar cuenta, yo pensaba que me hacían bastante más daño. Por aquí ya he ido.
Way out there on the edge of the world, that's where he finally finds you. But it ain't like Prosper Bluff this time. Ain't nothing for this gal to sing about now. Zia, you weren't kidnapped. No,
Claro que no.
ma'am. You just had to see what happened to the Ura. To your own people.
¿Quién iba a pensarlo?
You had to see if everything Zolf wrote to you was true.
Hola, niña. Perdone, señorita, esto es suyo.
Sure you didn't drop that twangy thing on purpose? Just to see if he'd go after you? They lost everything, didn't they? But they just keep on fighting like that's gonna bring it all back. I don't need to see what happened to the Ura. I'm trying to undo it, remember?
Pues deberías verlo. Los has destruido. Monstruo. Ya ahora el dinero no es que me sirva para nada.
Part of the rippling walls floated by, so I caught the kid's old knapsack.
Ahora tengo una caseta. ¿Qué hago? ¿Compro todo? Compro todo. Ya está. ¿Qué me da? Esto tiene todas las pintas de ser una de esas fases de oleadas sin fin. Así que
It's hard to
vamos
see
para allí.
what with everything that's happened. Zolf, very soon the kid's gonna have to face that man again, for the last time.
Hombre, pasa. Hola. ¿Podemos ser todos amigos? Uy.
met on the worst day of Zolf's life. There in the Hanging Gardens, he aimed to throw it all away.
Necesito pollo, ven aquí.
It wasn't the first time Zolf had nothing to lose. He was born to a simple Ura couple who didn't last long before plague took him. He grew up hungry in the tunnels of the Tazzle terminals, so he took to stealing from a Ceylandian missionary living there. He once got sloppy with his thieving hands. The missionary caught him, but didn't rat him out. Instead, he offered to take him in.
Oh, qué majo.
That missionary raised Zolf like a gentleman, like he was his own son. Taught him theology, history, and mercy.
¿Qué pasa? Ahora hay pollos pequeños. Ahora quiero un pollo de estos pequeños. Cosas más molestas, de verdad.
When the missionary passed away, Zolf promised to continue his work to bring about a lasting peace between the Ura and Ceylandia. Zolf started teaching the missionaries wisdom to any Ura who would listen, and listen they did. He advocated tolerance and argued that the Ura should atone for the war. He believed the city had much to teach his people.
No.
However, Zolf felt he could only do so much in the Tazzle terminals. He needed Ceylandia to know the Ura had changed.
Venga, vamos.
He decided to do what the missionary did many years before. He left the city of his youth to brave a savage land.
Pide pájaro. Ven aquí. Pájaros del demonio. Adiós.
The journey was hard, but he knew how to fend for himself. And then at last, Zolf saw the rippling walls on the horizon.
Adiós.
It's all right. He endeared himself to city folk straight away, and in turn he fell in love with the city and its people. One in particular.
Joder. Pollos por todos lados.
This young lady was fascinated by the Ura, but she never met anyone like Zolf. She told him she knew all the city's best-kept secrets. The Hanging Gardens was their favorite spot. It was there that Zolf clasped their hands and proposed in proper Ceylandian style. He celebrated with his friends long into the night. Joy and revelry like he'd never seen. Too bad he couldn't remember it all.
5 oleadas.
He woke up alone underground inside the Ura Ceylandian War Memorial, built like an Uraden. But something was wrong.
Oh, yes. Estúpidos pollos. Mucha cosa en pantalla. No veo nada.
He emerged from that hole in the ground into a waking nightmare. Everything that wasn't gone was twisted upside down. The world was frozen, air thick with ash. What few faces he saw on the street stared back at him with gray and vacant eyes. Found his wife-to-be asleep inside her home, but when he reached out to her, she joined with all the ashes in the sky.
Yo también sé hacer
So
eso.
Zolf returned to where he proposed in the Hanging Gardens, and there he stood, as if the gods would answer him.
Vamos, que se volvió loco porque perdió a todo el mundo que quería por culpa del viejo. Viejo mala gente.
The kid's gonna be okay. As for that man, who knows? Once the kid gets that last shard from Zolf, it'll all be over.
O sea que esta es la fase final. Tentador. Uy, va. Esto es muy grande. Sí, estoy preparado, claro. ¿Cómo no voy a estar preparado? Yo estoy siempre. Bla, bla, bla.
I can't hear him at all anymore. He's too far away.
Au.
But he'll be all right.
No, pollos otra vez, enanos, no. A ver.
The Calamity hit the Tazzle terminals hardest of all.
Por aquí no es.
You know why Zolf went back there.
Porque era su hogar.
The place was his home.
Oh.
All his old friends and family were there. Taken by the Calamity. Zolf must be there all alone, just waiting.
Uy. Muere. Ah, he subido de nivel y todo. Eso está bien. Muere.
You know what's funny? Well,
¿dónde estáis? Pues adiós.
all of us are waiting for a kid.
Estás muy pesadito tú. Empezamos otra vez.
Look around. There's not much left to do here in the Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right?
Sí, mira, justo lo que necesito, que me empieces a contar historietas. Adiós.
But Zia, there's another reason I've been telling you all this. There's something I want you to understand.
Lo comprendería si no me hablas mientras combato.
When the kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete.
Estará
This
completo.
disease the Arab planted here will go away.
What? Te vas a cargar a todos.
What happens dissolves will no longer matter. Ceylondia will be whole again. Everything will be back to normal.
Ya atascado.
Everyone will be all right.
Seguro que todo el mundo. Tus palabras suenan a no. Viejo chiflado.
Problem is, we'll all be gone.
Oh. Desapareceremos. Eso no mola. O sí mola.
Oh, we're not gonna die. It's more like all of this will just stop.
Eso me gusta. ¿Ves? Al final se parece al Zelda. Toda la mierda. Al final soy un destructor.
Things
Como
will
tiene
go
que
back
ser.
to the way they used to be. That's the power of the Bastion.
Bastion.
This whole place is a living record of the times before the calamity. The way things were before this story. Good times, right? You follow me?
Que me estás diciendo que ahora puedo saltar. Todo el puto juego sin saltar y ahora puedo saltar.
You'll be your old
Que
self
te
again.
parió.
Think of all those times that didn't go your way.
Voy saltando. Adiós. Literalmente reinicias el mundo. O sea que volverás a la vida, pero no recordarás nada. O sea, estoy en una especie de arca de memoria.
Setbacks. Imagine if you could have another go at 'em.
Coño, quita el medio, adiós. Sí.
Anyone you've ever
Dejadme en
hurt.
paz, que se cae el suelo. No, debe ser como que la historia continúa desde ahí, pero no...
Everything you've ever done, you could do it over. And wouldn't that be grand?
Es como...
Wouldn't you agree? Well, I
¿Eh?
guess there's nothing more to say.
Me he teletransportado en la puta cara.
Who am I kidding?
Hola.
Look. There's something else. A confession. How come I know so much about the Bastion?
¿Por qué lo construiste tú?
Well, I designed the place, but that's beside the point. There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time. You can't test it.
Ya es cuando me vas a decir que Keith es el viejo, ¿verdad?
So you're probably wondering if the calamity happened already. What's to stop it from happening again after the Bastion does its thing? The answer is... I don't know.
¿Ves? Te confirma que es un bucle temporal.
You're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this mess. It's all right. I can tell. But why would you even want another way? Unless you wanted to stay here with us. Well, that's sweet and all, but I don't know if I can stick around.
Bueno, pueden haber destruido el mundo. No te puedes quedar, claro, pues no destruyes el mundo. Torito bueno, torito bueno.
The weight of the calamity, it's on our shoulders. We can't just let it go.
Joder.
Bastion does have another function, strictly speaking.
Jodo. Estaría bien poder ir un poco más rapidito.
If ever the monument blew out, and we couldn't repair it, we could still evacuate. First, we'd round up as many folks as we could carry. Next, we'd detonate the cores, and we'd take off away from here.
Hola.
Heavy, ain't it?
Pues sí, pesa. Pesa bastante.
Zolf and his countrymen won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you?
Uy, perdón. Ups. Muere. Pues para estar todo el mundo muerto no paro de encontrar gente.
Zolf and the Ura. All they want now is to see the Bastion fall.
Joder, qué lento.
Zolf dedicated his life to a lasting peace between the Ura and Zealandia.
Con el ariete.
Zolf ain't lost every shred of decency though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plan. He tried to warn the kid.
A la mierda los dos. Está siendo un poco de broma de mal gusto. Una. Dos. Hala.
Well, for Zolf, this ain't a personal matter.
Mira.
It ain't a simple matter of pride either.
Boom. Creo que me acaba de cargar azul.
One thing's for sure. The Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zolf all the way home.
Ah, pues no. Hola, azul. Me das a elegir ahora.
I can see it now. The kid in one corner, and Zolf in the other. Ain't much of a fight.
¿Puedo tirarlo?
Don't you worry, though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be alright.
¿Me puedes explicar cómo es posible que el ariete pesase menos que el tío este?
You ain't still thinking about that whole leaving the city thing, are ya?
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Que me cure, pero si no puedo hacer nada. Quiero hacer cosas si no me dejáis. Pues han sobrevivido todos. ¿Quién se ha muerto? Se ha muerto solo.
Kid's probably dealt was off by now.
No me atacan.
It reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days?
Ni se te ocurra.
Hey, kid. Get up, kid.
Joder.
Come on, that ain't funny. I said get up. That's more like it. Now,
Torito.
set that shard into the monument there. Then we'll talk.
No, primero hablamos. ¿Dónde estáis? Mira cómo está. Mira.
Can't believe you brought him back again. Bet you had to do more than say please this time. First things first, kid. The Bastion's waiting.
Nope. No.
The Bastion. It's finally finished. Now, there's something I want you to see. Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions. Hey, kid. You can undo the calamity here and now. Go on, kid. And before I forget...
Gracias, lo he entendido.
Always wondered what the motherland was like. Not that it matters anymore. Zolf only brought more ruin to the Ura. No wonder they didn't take kindly to him. You've got one thing left to do, so you hang on to that badge. Besides, you earned it. Don't let anything you've done get to you. You can save all those creatures here and now.
Ah, menos mal. Mis mascotitas.
You made it.
Oh, hablo.
So, let's see. You can either prevent the calamity, or stick around with me and Rex. I'd hate to be in your shoes. If I could be any place I wanted, I'd stay right here. We could go anywhere in the world. Zolf tried to talk me into joining him. I tried to talk him out of it. I guess we both failed. When I finally found my people, I told them we could help. They just took me for a traitor. Glad you showed up.
Oh, le caigo bien.
Any moment I'd want to live again happened after the calamity, not before.
Pues no sé qué hacer. Si es que esto es como restaurar el planeta. Tú.
Oh, mother. And here I figured you'd had enough of me by now. You could have undone the calamity itself. But instead, you want to stay in a world like this. I gotta admit, kid, I ain't yet put much thought in that idea of carrying on with you here. We can't go back no more, but I suppose we could go wherever we please. And if anyone's left out there, I sure would like to see the look on their faces when we dock this thing right on that doorstep. Getting ahead of myself, though. I'm gonna need a first mate. What do you say?
Segundo, pero si me he hecho yo todo el trabajo. No una patada al viejo. Pues me lo he terminado. Oh, qué majo el viejo. Sí, cortito, pero... Uf. Tiene muchas cosas que no me han gustado un pelo. Sobre todo el tema subtítulos me pone muy nervioso. Porque es que encima te pierdes la mitad. Y la jugabilidad, hasta que no encuentras un arma decente o algo así, pues... ¡Mira, mi bichín! La música está muy bien, el arte está muy bien, los diseñadores están muy bien. Pero los subtítulos y la jugabilidad... Mira qué contenta. Aunque acabo de pensar que acabo de sentenciar a muerte a toda la población. Ups. ¿Cuál es el final bueno? ¿He hecho el final bueno? Pues qué bien. No, ahora está el New Game Plus. Es decir, tendría que volvérmelo a pasar entero para tener la otra opción. Que puedo hacerlo perfectamente. Ahora que me sé el camino es ir tucu sin parar. Madre mía, cuánta gente. No puedo saltarme esto. No se puede saltar. Pues esto no está mal. No está mal. Me ha puesto muy nervioso, pero no está mal. Supongo que no voy a completar al 100%. Porque lo que pide no Y de combos meterme los talismanes. Es que ponerme los talismanes sin premio solo por el logro no. Sí, lo digo después de haber cogido yo todos los tesoros del Assassin's Creed. Pero eso es obsesivo compulsivo. Oye, esto no se termina. Pero bueno. Es que consigues las armas que te gustan. Aún es decente. Pero la hitbox es horrible. Pero horrible. Horrible. Es que yo con el martillo no sabía lo que estaba pegando. Y no te digo ya con la espadita. Encima el monigote es más grande que la espada. No veo la espada. Sigue saliendo gente. Y sigue saliendo gente. Vamos a ver los mensajes. Bla. Bueno. ¿A ti qué te ha parecido, Jai, lo que has visto? No, parece que termina. Ay, qué bonito el símbolo de Bastion. Menú principal. Momento. ¿Colará? Hola. Puede ser, tal vez, a lo mejor. Pajarito.
With rushers, they moved in shadows, but the calamity found them.
Lo compro.
The service for all the men and women who served Zealandia.
Y un logro. Qué bien.
Ain't never letting go of his old friend with a sturdy grip like that. His bow's looking lean and mean like a prize fighter.
Puedo volver a pasármelo y vemos el otro final. Vamos a hacerlo. Oh no, tendré que hacer otra vez lo del ariete. No.
No telling where the kid is now.
Sí sé dónde estoy. Off.
But he'll be all right. Just needs to get that shard from Zoltan and come on home. The calamity hit the Tazil terminals hardest of all.
Adiós.
You know why Zolf went back there?
¿Sabes qué te digo?
The place was his home. Zolf
Me
must be
pregunto
there all alone.
si puedo ir a toda pastilla.
All his old friends and family were there. You know what's funny? Well, look around. There's not much left to do here in Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right?
Voy a probar ir a toda pastilla.
When the kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete.
Por aquí.
Zealandia will be whole again. Everything will be back to normal. Problem is, we'll all be
Espera,
gone.
que está funcionando lo de ir a toda pastilla. No me jodas. Pues vale, pues nada, ya está. A toda pastilla, que le den por culo a los enemigos.
Well, we're not gonna die.
Esta parte me
More
gusta.
like
Estoy preparados y por
all of this will just stop.
Que sí, que sí. Lo que diga el viejo ya me da igual.
Things will go back to the way they used to be. This whole place is a living record of the times before the
Que sí,
calamity.
que sí, que sí.
You'll be your old self again. Think of all those times that didn't go your way.
Adiós. Ay, que tengo que
All
matar.
life's little setbacks. Imagine if you could have another go at them.
Ahora es cuando se destruye el suelo, ¿verdad?
No mistakes.
Sí. Se destruye, hasta luego. Que os vaya muy bien a todos.
Everything you've ever done,
Mira.
you could do it over. And wouldn't
Que
that
sí,
be
que sí, que
grand?
hasta que no, que
Wouldn't
no.
you agree?
Matarte no quiero.
Well,
Ya está.
I guess there's nothing more to say.
Lo que me ha durado media hora me lo estoy pasando en 3 minutos. Jódete.
Who am I kidding? Look,
Ups.
there's something else. A confession. How come I know so much about the Bastion? Well, I designed the place. But that's beside the point. There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time. You can't test it.
Au.
So you're probably wondering if the calamity happened already. What's to stop it from happening again after the Bastion does its thing? The answer is
Sí, mire, pero
I don't know.
a toda pastilla estoy yendo. O sea, los enemigos me deben de estar viendo y están diciendo, ¿este tío qué hace? ¿Salvo otra vez al tío o no?
You're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this mess. It's all right. I can tell. But why would you even want another way? Unless you wanted to stay here with us.
Lo siento, he hecho eso antes.
Well, that's sweet and all, but I don't know if I can stick around.
Eso.
The weight of the calamity.
¡Hala!
It's on our shoulders. We can't just let it go.
Pumba.
Bastion does have another function. Strictly speaking, if ever the monument blew out, and we couldn't repair it.
Boom.
Still, evacuate.
Que sí, que sí, que
First,
sí.
we'd round up as many
Todo lo que te
as
dé la
we
gana.
could carry.
Que voy a ir a toda pastilla.
Next, we detonate the cores, and we take off away from here.
¡Hala! ¿Cuánto queda? Creo que poquito, ¿no? Un moñero. Tendré que ir al podólogo. Que sí, que sí.
You know, Zolf and his countrymen won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you?
Mira, a tomar por culo. A la tomar, que te fresco.
Zolf and the Ura, all they want now is to see the Bastion fall. Zolf dedicated his life to lasting peace between the Ura and Zealandia.
Y es que me da igual.
He can't have imagined the city would try to wipe the Ura out.
Boom.
Zolf ain't lost every shred of decency, though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plan. He tried to warn the kid.
Adiós. Desaparece, vienen más. ¡Hala! Desaparece, vienen más.
It's such a shame.
Bueno, tal vez no debería no hacerlo tan a lo loco. Se teletransporta.
No matter of pride either.
¡Hala! Dos muertos.
One thing's for sure. The Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zolf all the way home.
Dos muertos. Pobrecito. Ay, venga, que me lo llevo otra vez.
I can see it now. The kid in one corner, and Zolf in the other. Ain't much
Da
of a
pena.
fight.
Total, voy a matar a todo el mundo.
Don't you worry, though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be all right. You ain't still thinking about that whole leaving the city thing, are you?
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. No me muero. ¿Ves? Me dejan en paz. Ah, matan.
Kid's probably dealt with Zolf by now.
Sí, seguro que si lo dejo atrás todo esto me lo tendré que merendar.
It reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days?
Uy, perdón. Venga,
Hey, kid.
venga.
Get up,
Venga.
kid.
Que sí, que sí. Venga.
Come on, that ain't funny. I say get up. That's more like it. Now, set that shard into the monument there.
Que sí, pongo
Stand
lo del
atop
monumento
the
y me
bastion.
enseñas un sitio.
It's finally finished. Now, there's something I want you to see.
Yes. Me enseñas la parte de abajo.
Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions. You
Bla,
can
bla,
undo
bla,
the
bla, bla,
calamity
bla,
here
bla.
and now. Go on, kid. And before I forget, thank you. Always wondered what the motherland was
Que hay que
like.
volver a preguntarlo
Not that
todo.
it matters anymore. Zolf only brought more ruin to the Ura. No wonder they didn't take kindly to him. You've got one thing left to do, so you hang on to that badge. Besides, you earned it. Don't let anything you've done get to you. You can save all those creatures here and now.
You made it.
Hola, maja.
So, let's see. You can either prevent the calamity, or stick around with me and Rex. I'd hate to be in your shoes. If I could be any place I wanted, I'd stay right here. We could go anywhere in the world. Zolf tried to talk me into joining him. I tried to talk him out of it. I guess we both failed. When I finally found my people, I told them we could help. They just took me for a traitor. Glad you showed up. Any moment I'd want to live again happened after the calamity, not before.
Toca el otro.
It's finished. Now, sit tight. It'll be over soon. No matter what happens next, you done good. I suppose all that's left is to try and remember this moment. The Bastion's gonna take us back to a better time before any of this. Might be we'll forget everything you've done and each other. Though after all we've been through, I find that hard to believe. So long, kid. Maybe I'll see you in the next one.
Quizás.
Celandia, we're coming home.
Pinta que es el final malo. ¿Ya está? referencia. Vale. Pues nada, a tragarse otra vez los... A tragarse otra vez los... Ah, mira. Oh, con su amada, que al final se muere. Parece que toca para grandes públicos. Vuelvo a ser el constructor, herrero, lo que sea. Es mi bichín, sigue vivo. Pero está volviendo a construir la máquina otra vez. Básicamente es un puto bucle. Vamos, que ese es el final. Y ya está. Eso es toda la diferencia. Nada, que no se puede volver a saltar. Oh. No puedo saltarlo de verdad. Ah, reanudar. Pues nada. Ahora sí que sí. No sé lo que jugaré ahora, la verdad. Veremos qué es lo que puedo traer. Si me aclaro. Sí, el Ori podría estar bien. Es que estoy pensando. Es que el Ori es muy largo. Muy largo. Bueno, tampoco. Pero no tiene logros, porque está en la Switch. Eso es bueno. No sé, lo pensaré. Lo de sortearlo y demás no funciona bien, así que ya pensaré otra forma. No se me ocurre nada. Pues mientras tanto, vamos a ver qué es lo que tengo por aquí mientras se terminan los títulos. Pues nada, básicamente volvemos al inicio otra vez. Y no voy a... ¿Qué es esto? Modo ataque con puntos. Pero ¿qué es esto? Esto es una partida nueva con todas las estructuras, licores e ídolos bloqueados, además de repetir. Qué coñazo. Sinceramente, no me apetece nada. Es que el platino, ¿ves? Esto no hay problema. Esto no, supongo que lo haré. Me cogeré alguno que puedo hacer, pero esto es una mierda. Esto es una mierda. Esto es una mierda, 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 una mierda. Y esto es otra partida más. O sea, técnicamente son 3 partidas. Me da mucha pereza. Pero mucha. Mucha, mucha, mucha. En todo caso, vamos a dejarlo por aquí. Que es lo que toca. Es que se ha terminado ya el jueguecito. Y con los 2 finales, Vamos a ver. ¿A quién podemos hacer un raideito de... Se supone 4 personas? ¿Quiénes estamos? A ver... Yo aquí veo gente. Esta castaña. O esa castaña. Para ahí.